Okay, we've built a chunk of land and a footing down inside. All right. So, if you select, in fact, you might even want to hit the space bar, select the land, right click, and choose hide. So you're only looking at the footing. And what we want is the top surface of the footing. So if it's a group, I can see it's a group because it has multiple lines selected. When I click on it, hit the space bar, double click it, we'll just click once on the top surface and copy it. So the Command C to copy on a Chromebook, Control C to copy it. You could also right click and choose the second icon here, which is copy. Click on it, doesn't seem to do anything, but it does copy it when you click on that. Click off of it. And then even if I selected that, I could right click and hide it. And you'll see it's there, but it's hidden. When I right click and I hit paste in place, which is this fourth icon, that top surface comes in. I'm just going to click an empty space over here. I'm going to, this is not grouped or anything, so when I click on it, it's just completely available. I'm going to hit F for offset, and I'm going to click and drag that line in, and when I let go, even if I pull it way in, when I let go, I'm going to tell it 8 enter, and that does an 8-inch offset. Then I'm going to hit the spacebar and click in here and do the same thing. Tap F, click and drag in. When I let go, just let go of the mouse, type in 8 enter, and that gives me that. So this is 24 inches wide, so I've got 8 inches, 8 inches, 8 inches in those separate zones, right? All we need is this piece for the walls, so we're going to do what we call copy kill, which is actually copy, kill, and paste. So I'm going to click on it once to select it, copy it, Control C, or if you're on a Chromebook, or Command C, or same thing, you could right click and hit copy here. So that's copied. Click on that, and then hit the space bar and triple click it. Select the whole thing, hit backspace or delete, kills it off. So we copied what we wanted, we killed it off, and now we're going to right click and paste the good piece back in. Here's paste in place. It's going to give us the walls. We're going to pull this up, hit P for push pull. We're going to pull this up, tell it to go up 96, enter. So there's our basement walls, and then we're going to triple click this, hit the space bar, triple click it, and then right click and group it. If I unhide everything now, I'm going to go over to the tools on the right, click on the glasses, hit unhide all. Got that. Okay. So basically, we've got the footing in the bottom, foundation walls, and then we have to go in and create the basement floor, which is called the concrete slab. So, good idea to hit O for orbit. You might want to hold down shift to drag this around. If you let go and shift, you're back in orbit. I'm going to actually look straight down in like this. Tap R for rectangles and start in this, really the bottom corner of the wall, which is right there. And click and drag out all the way to that, not here, well, not here, all the way into, not here. Come on. Not there, but all the way in the corner. Not here, but here. And that creates that flashing plane because it's really 2D. It's just kind of sitting there. We'll hit P for push pull, and we'll pull this up in the air, let go until at 4, enter. So it's a 4-inch basement floor, 4-inch concrete slab. I'm going to triple click it and then right click and group it. So that's all the masonry work done. The concrete work is masonry work. The concrete work is done. I can hit B, grab some concrete. I'll use a light color here. Okay, so that's all done. So the first piece of wood is called the plate. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to cheat slightly. We're going to hit R for rectangles and draw a rectangle from this point all the way over to this point. And that just puts a cap on the whole thing, covers the whole thing. Then I'm going to hit F for offset, and I'm going to click and drag in. When I let go, I'm going to tell it 7.5, enter. It's very hard to see, but that's this space right in here. And that's, again, that's all we need, actually. So what I can do, we don't really need to do copy kill. I can just click in this interior space and hit backspace or delete and kill it off. So what's left is just this piece right here. It's a little hard to see, but you can see it sort of flashing. When I hit P for push-pull, this piece is a 2x8. So the 8 is the 7.5 offset that we did. That's that distance there. And the 2 is not measured 2 inches. It's actually, a 2x8 is not 2 inches by 8 inches. It's 1.5 by 7.5. So now we're going to click and we're going to pull this up 1.5. So that's the first piece of wood that goes down. I'm going to go down and paint it with some wood. Let's just make it something light colored for right now. Looks a little yellow, but that's wood. Okay. So really that's several pieces of wood. It's not one piece. It's probably every side, like this entire side over here is probably 3 pieces of wood. It's multiple pieces put together, but we can draw it as one piece. I'm going to triple click it and make it a group. When in doubt, make things a group. Okay, that's the first piece of wood. And actually, maybe later I'll do this, that actually gets bolted into the concrete. The concrete would have like a bolt sticking up out of the concrete that would come up through this, and it would actually be clamped down so it's held down to the concrete. Maybe we'll do that later. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in like this, and actually we can do the same thing again. We can just draw another rectangle right on top of this one, but make sure you aim carefully. I'm going to draw a rectangle from this outside corner all the way over to this corner. But this time, instead of doing the 7.5 inch offset, we're going to hit F. We're going to offset in, come on, be nice, offset in 1.5. That's that narrow little space that you're seeing right there. Same thing, we'll click once in the middle and hit backspace or delete and kill it off. Now, this is the same thing, except this is on edge, which means it's standing on the narrow edge of the piece of wood. So when we push-pull this, we're going to pull this up. We're going to make this a 2x10. Again, it's not 2x10. It's 1.5 by 9.5. So when we pull this up, instead of 10, I'm going to pull it up 9.5, enter, and make that a group. That's also something it's not, we kind of cheat with that. It's multiple pieces of wood. Probably each side is, this whole long run here might be 3 pieces of wood. This might be 2 or 3 pieces of wood. I'm going to hit B and paint that with some wood color. And then we have to make the floor joist. That's the structure of the floor that's in here. This is called a ring joist because it goes all the way around in a ring around the outside shape of the house. If the house was L-shaped, this would go around the whole thing in an L shape. So that's called a ring joist. Then what we'll do is this. We will draw a rectangle right on the face of this. Like that. Drag that out. And we're going to tell that to be, again, this is a matching piece of wood. It's going to be a 2x10, so that's going to be 1.5, comma, 9.5. And then we can take that, hit push-pull, we can push it all the way across and just touch that surface. Now it's crashing through this piece of wood here, so we're going to have to make a change on that. So what we'll do is might as well group this. Triple click it, right click and group it. And to figure out the spacing on this, we're going to fix the fact that it's crashing through the wall in a second. I'm going to tap T for the tape. I'm going to click on this outside edge over here and click and drag in a tape line. A little hard to see, but it is there. And when I let go, I'm going to tell it 16, enter. And it gives me that tape line. Maybe I'll repaint this so you guys can see it better. Just make it white again. Okay. Then I'm going to hit the space bar and select that tape line. I'm going to move a copy. So I'm going to tap M-Alt on this computer. If you're on a Chromebook, it would be M-Control. I'm going to drag it out here, and when I let go, sometimes it's good to go way out here so you can see it change. I'm going to let go and tell it 16, enter, and then hit times 5, enter. And I don't need to do the whole thing. You'll be able to see this. Well, 5 is enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the spacebar, select this guy, grab its top midpoint, which my computer is being a pain and won't really grab it. There it is. And we're going to set it right there. Now let's do this just in case. Let's right click on this thing, even if it's a group. Let's say make it a component. And it's a floor joist, so it's actually a common joist. So let's type that in. It's common joist, J-O-I-S-T. That way, if we change one, if it's a component, we change one, they'll all change. All right, what we'll do is we'll take this guy, which is centered on that. It's measured off the end, because that's where the house starts. Measured 16 inches, and these things are 16 inches on center. 16 inches OC is on center. I'm going to move a copy. And I'm going to move a copy over on the axis like that. When I let go, I'm going to tell it to go 16, enter. And then I'm going to tell it, I can't remember how many, so I'm going to go X26, enter. See if that's enough. Oh, not enough. I'll do that again. Looks like it's got to be more than that. Sometimes I make too many and then I just delete the ones I don't need. So M-Control. M-Alt on my computer, on a Chromebook, M-Control, move the copy over. 16, enter, times, I'm going to go 28. So X28, enter. You can see. And then I'm going to check the other end and see if I ended up, yeah, there's an extra down here. So don't really need 28, only need 27. Now, because they're components, if we fix one, we can fix them all. So I'm going to hit the spacebar, double-click this guy, and I'm going to push this in. It's got to go in the thickness of that ring joist, so it's just going to go 1.5, enter, and they're all done. That's the framing for the floor, and the framing's done at this point. We still have to put some wood, some plywood on top, but we'll do that in this next video.